Hey everybody, it's the Ioniq guy, and if you own a Hyundai or Genesis EV and drive an iPedal Level 2 or Level 3 regeneration, then you're going to want to stay tuned because there is a big software update coming out this July 2023 that's going to really change the way the brake lights work on your car. So if you want to find out more about it, stay tuned. So for all you owners, you might have noticed over the last few weeks there's been a lot more talk about the way the brake lights in the Hyundai Ioniq 5 and Hyundai's other EVs, Genesis EVs, function. And that's mostly because of a video posted by Technology Connections several weeks ago. He owns an Ioniq 5 and he talked about how disappointed he is in the way that the brake lights actuate when in heavy regen modes, Level 2, Level 3, and iPedal, and how the brake lights don't come on unless your foot is completely off the accelerator in iPedal. If you haven't already seen his video, I'll leave a link in the description, but it has over 2 million views. It's one of his biggest videos in the last year, and it really brings to light not only an issue with Hyundai and Genesis's EVs, but EVs in general, and how the United States government really needs to think about putting in some new language into our laws about how cars' brake lights are supposed to function. So these regulations on car brake lights are so old, they basically just say, as long as the brake pedal is being depressed, then the service lights, the brake lights of the car have to illuminate. Now, when driving an electric vehicle in iPedal, you're only using the accelerator pedal to quickly decelerate and accelerate the car. So you could be decelerating at a very good clip like he shows in his video, and at the same time, your brake lights are completely off, leaving the driver behind you completely clueless to how quickly you are decelerating. And this whole time, your foot's not coming anywhere near the brake pedal until maybe the last few feet of the stop. So I personally drive in iPedal all the time, and I've known about this. So my workaround has mostly been that I'll decelerate fairly slowly while in iPedal, and then the last 50 to 100 feet of my braking, I will fully lift my foot off the accelerator pedal, thus illuminating the brake lights. Now, this hasn't been an issue for me. I haven't had anybody flash their high beams at me. I haven't been rear-ended. I haven't been flicked off. So I guess it's not an issue for me, but I've heard from some owners saying that they've had high beams flashed at them. They've gotten the finger. So it is a problem and kind of a safety concern. With the way that these brake lights currently operate, I would say that you're probably at a higher risk of getting rear-ended than while driving, say, a gas car where you're actually using the brake pedal. So after Alec posted this big, long video about the issue and going really in-depth into it, this kind of brought it back to light. And Consumer Reports actually picked up this, and they did some investigation of their own. They found similar findings, and thus Hyundai responded. So I have an email from Hyundai's PR department. After further investigation, Hyundai and Genesis will be launching a field service campaign to update the EV brake light logic for the Hyundai Ioniq 5, Genesis Electric G80, Genesis Electrified GV70, and Genesis GV60. There will also be a change made to new production of those models. Regardless of the accelerator pedal input, the brake lights will now turn on when the deceleration rate exceeds 1.3 meters per second squared, or approximately 0.13 Gs. The service campaign will launch in July for approximately 56,000 vehicles and will be performed free of charge. So this is great news. Hyundai heard and they are doing something about it. The one thing you're going to notice, though, they don't say anything about the Ioniq 6 on this list. And from what I've heard, the Ioniq 6, since it's been released, has an updated version of their brake light logic. So they knew it was an issue, and now they're kind of backtracking and saying, oh, we'll push this to the other cars. But part of me wonders if Hyundai would have addressed this issue had it not been for the Technology Connections video, as well as Consumer Reports picking up the story and kind of making a bigger stink about it. But regardless, Hyundai's responded and a fix is incoming. I actually went and preemptively made an appointment in my local dealership just because I know that dealership slots can be hard to get, and I want to bring this fix to you guys as soon as it comes out. I highly suggest that if this is something that concerns you, if you drive a lot in the high regen modes and you want this fix, schedule an appointment for, I would say, mid-July. And then if it's not out by then, which you will hear from me, keep pushing it out a little bit further week by week until the fix is officially out there. Now, I know a lot of you are going to be saying, is 0.13 Gs the right number to pick to illuminate the brake lights? So I pulled up a deceleration calculator and punched in some numbers just to get an idea of how quickly this is actually decelerating to create 0.13 Gs. And after playing around with it for a little bit, I calculated, say, going from 75 miles per hour to 60 miles per hour at 5.3 seconds equates to a deceleration of 0.13 Gs. So 75 to 60 in 5 seconds. I would say that's a pretty fair amount of deceleration to activate the brake lights. Any less than that and you're more or less coasting. I did just drive across country in a gas car for the first time in a long time. And yeah, when you take your foot completely off the accelerator in a gas car, you're going to decelerate maybe 5 miles per hour over a few seconds. So it's pretty comparable, and the brake lights aren't illuminating in that situation. So I think 0.13 Gs sounds about right, but I'm going to leave that up to speculation until I have the fix installed on my Ioniq 5. So anyway, guys, good news if you own a Hyundai or Genesis EV. Kia EV6 owners, I'm sorry, but Hyundai doesn't control Kia's software updates, so Kia has to do this one on their own. If you haven't already seen, I did just recently review the Kia EV6 from my perspective as an Ioniq 5 owner. If you haven't seen that video yet, I'll leave a link in the description to that as well. But either way, if Hyundai's doing it, I expect Kia will probably follow suit. This obviously could be a safety concern for people who aren't 100% sure of how the car is decelerating. Now, another big question, is this going to be a technical service bulletin or TSB that you would get installed at your local Hyundai dealership or Genesis dealership, or is this going to be a full-blown recall? I don't really know at this point. I would imagine it's going to be a TSB because they probably aren't going to consider it a safety issue, but that's to be debated. If somebody's been rear-ended in their car because of this, then they're probably going to say, yes, it is a safety issue, but that's obviously up to Hyundai to decide how they want to handle this. But anyway, I just wanted to get that information out to you all. So if you liked today's video, be sure to give it a thumbs up. It really helps me out. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care, everybody. So if you're anything like me, you were probably disappointed after you purchased your Hyundai Ioniq 5 and realized that there was no overhead storage for your sunglasses. So I solved that problem with the Hyundai Ioniq 5 magnetic eyewear holder. It simply clips onto the magnetic area next to the driver display, and your sunglasses go right onto it. These are 3D printed in PETG and will not soften in the heat of your car. They utilize a 1 1/4 inch rare earth magnet that keeps them securely on your dashboard, and a strip of Velcro protects the frames of your glasses. These will work well with thick plastic frame glasses, such as Ray-Ban Wayfarers, but not so much with wireframe glasses like aviators. These are available for $20 plus shipping at the link below in white or black. Thanks for checking them out.